I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that I wish I could go back in time and tell my younger self. Now, the way you can use this for yourself is take what I'm saying with a great deal of appreciation, because I weathered a lot of storms financially and personally to get to what I know now. And you may be a very young person or an older person just now getting involved in the markets. You're going to have the same growing pains that everyone else has. And some of these things are going to be things you probably read in books, heard other people talk about. But I'm going to give you my personal spin on some of them and how it applied to me. So it's kind of like a little bit of a little history book of what I was plagued with in my first 6 years. The first 6 years of my trading development is plagued with everything you could have possibly done wrong. And I want to kind of like use this discussion to kind of like go through some of the major hurdles that I had. And again, since I have children, adult children now, they can hopefully listen to this and mine the experience portion of it. Because a lot of the things that I've put on my YouTube channel and I've taught over the years, it's heavily technical, just a lot of things that are going on in the chart, and I am always accused of being long-winded. And again, if you're not into really understanding what is most likely going to plague you, and if you just want to go through it yourself and have all that experience, have at it and don't even listen to this video. And there's no harm in you not listening to this part. You could really just say, okay, I'm just going to wait to part 2, but it's meant to be a resource for you to glean experience from without having to go through the suffering portion of it. So if I were to go back in time and I could sit at a table and talk to my younger self, what would I tell him or me where to focus? What should I, as a younger person, focus on in my development as a trader? First thing, don't seek the approval from others. Right away, that's the number one characteristic of a successful trader. Now, you might not agree with the things I'm going to say in this episode. I'm just speaking from my own personal walk and the things that I had to endure. When I first started, the first people that I looked to get approval with was my family. And I love my family, both my immediate and extended family, but none of them shared in my excitement. They gave me all the reasons why it was a poor decision. It was a bad idea to get involved in it. I'm going to just lose money and just accept working for the rest of your life. And that was simply not in the cards for me. I just didn't want to do that. So you don't want to seek approval from your family, because they're not going to understand what you're trying to do. They're going to give you all of the heartfelt reasons why they're going to try to protect you from yourself, when they don't really understand what it is that you're trying to do or learn. Don't seek the approval of your friends. Number one, your friends are only going to be interested once you start making money. When they start seeing the changes in your life, then and only then will your friends be on board with it. Your friends, much like your family, really don't feel comfortable with you being successful, because if you tell them what you're going to do, then you get to the point where you succeed at it, you act like a mirror for them, and they will always look to you as a reminder of what they failed to pursue in their own life. So again, don't try to seek the approval of others, family first, and friends, because it doesn't work out. Third, don't go to work and tell your coworkers that you're going to be quitting your job soon. I made all those errors, okay, and many times I've shared the low income, high hour, heavy workload job that I was doing as a young man when I was beginning this journey. And I just don't think that it's a good practice for anyone to go to work and tell their coworkers. Number one, they're going to be giving you, again, all the worst feedback you're ever going to hear. Yeah, right. You'll be here with me the rest of your life. You're going to retire from here. All those things. Okay. So when you get this feedback from your coworkers, you're going to hate going to work even more, because you might have liked going to work to some degree and hanging out with the people you work with, talking about sports, talking about movies, talking about the opposite sex. All these things that you had a common, I guess, agreement on or an interest in will start having a great divide, because you're going to look at them as a source of annoyance, and they're just going to look at you as you're pipe dreaming, and you're not going to get to where you're going, and it's going to be fun for them to watch you fail. And you don't want to have someone constantly, poking you every day. Looks like you're still here. I guess I'll see you to work tomorrow. And those types of things is what I had to endure. So don't tell your coworkers what you're going to be doing. Don't tell your boss what you're going to be doing. You're going to basically fire your boss and fire your coworkers when the time is right. But you don't want to broadcast it, because all it's going to do is provide them a timeline when they think you should be doing it and tease you the entire time. So your family's going to constantly give you heartfelt advice of why you shouldn't do it. Your friends are going to say, I'm not really interested, but if you get successful, I might be interested then. So why tell them? Your coworkers are going to give you every negative thing because they hate their life too. They're at the same place you're at, yet you're trying to escape. So why would you want them to, pump you up? That's what we do as humans. We want to have our peers say, yeah, that's a good idea. But how many times in your life have you ever had that experience? I can tell you, unless it was my 5th grade teacher, Mr. Lorber, or it was my uncle that talked to me about commodities when I was 16 years old and taught me about narrow sideways channels and 1, 2, 3 tops and bottoms and head and shoulders, all those bull flags and things. At 16 years old, I was looking at it and it was going in one ear and out the other. Okay. So when you tell all your family, your friends, and your coworkers, that's what's happening. And they're not going to say, you know what? That's brilliant. I wish I would have thought of that. That's the reaction you're expecting, right? It never works out that way. But yet we all do it as humans. We want to have that's a good idea response, and it never comes. So what does it do? It causes deflation. You don't want to be around these people, because now you're like, I wish I would have never said anything. But once you put it out there, it's done. And lastly, strangers. As a young man, when I was doing my job, I would finish off, filling up the candy machines and the soda machines and coffee machines and such. And I used to do a vending route. And I did a long day, 13 hours or so. And during my route, I felt this unreasonable desire to tell other people that I don't even know. Yeah, I'm looking at a market. I hope it goes up and blah, blah, blah. What? They're looking at me, what are you talking to me about that for? So when you tell strangers, or if you meet someone in the pub, okay, or you're at a club, or, well, right now it's hard to go to those places right now because of all the things that's being impacted by the illness that's being spread around. The social circles, when you run into people, they'll ask you, hey, so what do you do with yourself? That's not the invitation to say, well, I'm looking to start trading commodities. They're going to be like, what? Yeah, I'm trading the foreign exchange market. Right away, they're going to be like, what is that? And that's what you want them to ask you. And then when you start talking about it, they're like, oh yeah, that's like the stock market. Yeah, not interested. Or they're interested and they want to know how much money you made, and you can't tell them that you made any money. You're just now starting. So really, you're a startup and they're not really interested in the conversation anymore. So you're not going to get that feedback, again, what you're looking for. So don't seek the approval from others. You have to pursue this on your own steam, your own energy. And if you have any dependency on an outside source, be it any one of these 4 groups, family, friends, coworkers, or strangers, to give you that nudge, that little bit of a pat on the back that you're doing the right thing for yourself, you're going to struggle, because in trading, You got to be there to make the decisions whether anyone agrees with you or not. And when you make money, you reap the rewards of that. But when you lose it, and you will, you have to be able to endure that and not feel the compulsion to go to someone and say, hey, look, I just lost a lot of money. That's the same thing. Don't turn to anyone else and say, I made a mistake today. Help me feel better. You have to endure that. And if you're going to start your journey with this mindset of seeking approval or support outside of yourself, this is going to be a very hard journey for you. So you have to prepare yourself to seek your own approval by your own study and your own development. Reward yourself when you do it right. And when you do it wrong, give yourself permission to be wrong and allow yourself to grow. Next, learn risk management well and make that your initial, very first thing that you want to master. So you're controlling your impulses to stop telling everybody your business, okay? It's your business. It's not their business. So stop giving your business to someone else. Next in line, it's the risk. You have to understand what you're getting involved in. If you're going to be trading with live funds, you are losing money. That's a 100% guarantee you are losing money. There is never, ever going to be a trader that starts and never has a loss. My very first trade was a loss. I lost 50% of my account. Find your unique model and grow from it. Don't tweak it too much. Once it's profitable, stick with it. You will become wealthy. I have a lot of students in third world countries that have inclined their ear, have worked very hard to learn the things that I'm teaching with a great deal more adversities than the majority of you listening. And they are finding themselves out of poverty. Can you imagine how wonderful that feels for me as a teacher, as a mentor? That moves me. That type of success, that is impactful. And that's what motivates me. Because you may be living in the lap of luxury in this country. And when I say that, not because you may have the same affluence that I have or could afford myself to have, but you have the benefits of being in this country and the freedoms that we have here and the resources that are made available to us. And you sit on your ass and you do nothing. And you make excuses why you're not doing anything with the things I'm teaching. And you want someone to come out there and just prove that I'm a scammer, a fraud. So that way it makes it easier for you to just deal with the fact that you're fucking lazy. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. You're lazy. You want this to be easy, cookie cutter approach. Same thing all the time. Turn it on, doop, money falls in your bank account. It doesn't work like that. You're gonna have to work your ass off. I don't need to do that shit. Things are about to get really hard for you, and I'm doing everything I can to have a clear conscience. I've done everything in my power to make this accessible to you. I've literally given you a model that works. It's easy to trade, period. It's already on the YouTube channel. So stop expecting something easier than that, because there isn't anything easier than that. Period. And it would beat everything else out there. I don't care who the fuck it is. I don't give a shit who they trained with, what they do, what bank they work for, all that. Pull all that shit together, find them, and let them go up against that. Talking is bullshit. Find somebody else out there that has done this and has impacted people all around the world and just did it for nothing. Because I care. And a lot of you, if you're not getting yourself prepared, you're going to be homeless. You're going to be unable to feed your family yourself. In the normal everyday job, that's going to be almost impossible. I know it sounds like science fiction, but listen, folks, there's a reason why I came out on Baby Pips in 2010. You're now discovering it. Now, look around. That's what I was growing encouraged to come out and try to help as many as I could. Think about it. How else do I know these things before they happen? Think. You know the answer. Some of you just don't want to admit it. Until next time, be safe.